I recently had an opportunity to read Data and Goliath by Bruce Schneier. In this video, I'll present a short review of this book. In this book, the author talked about the security and privacy issues in the modern ways of data collection, its storage and analysis by different government and corporate entities. He also talked about the steps that government, corporations, and we as a society need to take to mitigate these issues. Now, let me take a deeper dive into this book. Broadly, the author has divided this book into three parts. In part 1, the author talked about the governments and corporations' mass surveillance of the tremendous amount of data that we generate as we move through our digitized lives, mostly without our consent. Corporations do surveillance to earn higher profits through targeted advertising. Government entities like NSA does surveillance to gain more control and power. NSA espionage was common even before 9/11 attacks. Post-attacks, the fear drove agencies to surveil the entire populations. The author said that the NSA's interpretation of some of the acts like USA Patriot Act or FISA 2008 are certainly illegal. And it is true. I looked upon internet and found that the former representative Jim Sensenbrenner, who introduced the USA Patriot Act, said that the intelligence community misused those powers and gone far beyond the original intent of the legislation. Part 2. The author talked about the ineffectiveness of mass surveillance and its detrimental effects on privacy, freedom, liberty, and trust. For example, when we know everything is being recorded, we are less likely to speak freely and act individually. We lose our individuality, and society stagnates. Additionally, he talked about the instances of losses to political relationships and international businesses because of USA's aggressive surveillance program. Part 3, author quoted several policies and regulations to deal with privacy and security issues, like the wide adoption of encryption. He said that government surveillance should be more transparent, fix most of the vulnerabilities, target more narrowly, only with the judicial approvals. Corporations have to work on the frameworks to maximize the benefits while minimizing the harm to consumers' privacy. They should be made liable for data breaches because they possess the data. I agree with the author on the need to regulate government surveillance, and there are some steps taken in this direction. Post Snowden disclosures, authorities have enacted USA Freedom Act of 2015 to strengthen privacy protections. This act is designed to end the NSA's bulk telephony metadata program. However, this is not enough. The idea is to give the government the power to conduct surveillance without giving them the ability to abuse it. And some representatives are taking it seriously. In May 2020, the fight to ban secret and voluntary surveillance of Americans' internet browsing and search history, lost in the Senate by just one vote. So we are not there yet, but we have made some progress. From a corporate surveillance perspective, the vast majority of data collected is unregulated as there is no single federal policy in the US. Although there are laws that cover the privacy of some of the types of data like health information and credit data, but these are not sufficient. Currently, only three states, California, Virginia, and Colorado, have comprehensive data privacy laws in the US. In contrast, Europe has a tough privacy and security law called as General Data Protection Regulation, which is enacted in 2018. It regulates the principles of data minimization, storage limitation, transparency, integrity and confidentiality, and accuracy and accountability. GDPR imposes very high fines for violators. So I think there is a need for a similar strict law to protect consumer privacy in the United States, which will encourage fewer privacy hostile services and products. Too many laws can confuse companies and consumers. So I think a single federal law would be easier to implement than different state laws. Thank you for your time, and you can find the references in the description.